welcome and welcome back. If you're new to this channel, this is Morg's Hauntings, where we discuss all things creepy, cryptic, horror, and haunted. My name is Eric. I have once again stolen my wife's phone to terrify you with all the haunted things that are in my head. Thank you for joining us today for Haunted Gym Horror, a series where every Friday we do a deep dive on a horror movie that didn't get the traction it deserves and needs to be discussed. Be sure to check the description below and see where this movie is streaming. Be sure to give it a watch and come back and let us know what you thought. First thing, this movie is currently streaming on Hulu, so if you have Hulu or the Disney Plus bundle that includes Hulu, you can go watch it there. But without any more waiting, let's go ahead and dive into today's Hidden Gem Horror, Uma. Before we start, I know that I might be pronouncing that wrong. Uma is Korean for mother. If I'm pronouncing this wrong, I'm very sorry. Also, before we start, I just want to go ahead and get a little bit of a trigger warning. There's really not much that happens in this movie that would require a trigger warning, other than if you're not on great terms with your parents. Other than that, this movie is rather tame when it comes to triggering things, and that's actually something that I very much appreciate because you don't leave this movie with a twisted feeling in your stomach. So this film starts with our two main characters, Amanda and her daughter, Chrissy. The two live on a small bee farm without any electronics or devices that use electricity. This is due to the fact that Amanda swears up and down that she is allergic to electricity. After a brief altercation with her daughter, after finding out that she is seeking college education, Amanda receives a package from her uncle containing the cremated remains of her mother. Amanda and her mother had both moved to the United States when Amanda was just a child. After moving to the United States, Amanda eventually found herself abandoning both her Korean heritage and her mother. Her uncle shamed her for leaving her mother and then promptly left. Soon after the remains were dropped off, Amanda started having multiple experiences of seeing an evil spirit that is intent on taking Amanda's body for itself. Soon after this, Amanda's paranormal experiences started to progress. She starts to see visions of tormented Korean spirits, her mother included. Amanda starts to become paranoid and on edge, worried that she's going to be just like her own mother. Her fears are confirmed when Amanda's mother possesses her body, while her daughter Chrissy finds her mother, now possessed, is doing some form of ritual to make the possession permanent. Amanda attacks Chrissy, but thankfully is stopped at the sound of her daughter begging for her life. Amanda confronts her mother after she is expelled from her body, telling her that she forgives her, and that she understands that raising a child in a foreign country had to have been an impossible task, but also confessing to her mother that there is no excuse for the way that she had been treated in her childhood. This display of compassion and understanding allows her mother to finally move on and finally be at peace. So that's the basic rundown for how the movie played out. That's the generalized plot for what had happened. I would very much recommend going to watch this movie, but let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about how this movie did, some of the people who acted in it. This film received a 4.7 out of 10 on IMDb and a 37% on Rotten Tomatoes. I absolutely loved this movie. Morgan actually wasn't a huge fan of this movie, and I totally understand that. I totally understand anyone who really didn't love this movie, maybe didn't want to give it a great rating. It's extremely cliche, and it's not very scary as far as most horror movies go. This movie kind of relied on jump scares a lot for the actual scary aspect of it. But as far as the plot itself goes and like the message that it gave, I really enjoyed it. And if you're someone who can appreciate horror movies for anything beyond just the scary aspect of them, I would definitely recommend going to watch this. And something else for me about this movie is if you are someone who's experienced abuse from a family member, or if you've estranged yourself from your family, this movie can cut a little deep, and honestly, I really appreciated the message that it came out with. The scary parts in it, they were scary. If they had taken the supernatural aspect out of this movie, I feel like it would have been just a good drama movie, but honestly, I also appreciated it as a horror movie itself. The acting in this movie was also incredible. The main character, Amanda, in it is played by Sandra Oh, who some of you may recognize from Grey's Anatomy. She had a voice acting role in Turning Red, as well as another actor who is in this movie. His name is Dermot Mulroney. He's been in a ton of stuff. He's been in New Girl. He was in the newest Scream 6 movie. I would highly recommend watching this movie, so go check it out. And if you do go and watch it, come back here, drop a comment, let us know what you think. If you've already seen it, go ahead and let us know what you think in the comment. If you loved it, if you hated it, if you just had some things you thought would have made the movie better, or if you just want to give some notes on how you feel about the movie. But that is going to wrap up Hidden Gem Horror for today. If you have any recommendations for any horror movies that you thought should have gotten better traction, better reviews, or just didn't get the popularity you think it deserves, go ahead and drop that movie in the comments, or you can go ahead and check the description for an email address where you can send in the movie title that you think we should watch. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.